You are listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again, and today, man, we have a true honor talking to a special guest today, CJ Orndorff, and man, it's regarding to the up and coming TBN special that you can hear, that you can listen and watch, and it is Second Chance Presents Revival in America's Prisons. And first and foremost, I want to welcome you to the show, CJ, and say how you doing, man.
Thank you so much, brother. I'm doing just great. Thank you. I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for the invitation to be with you guys today.
Yeah, man. And this is a very positive, uplifting, is it a 3-part series? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Programs that are being combined as one package. So we're going to see the whole thing on Friday.
And this is a Second Chance Outreach Ministry. So kind of share with the audience a little bit the story behind the project.
The project is really a culmination of our efforts the last 6 years as we've been partnering with TBN's Second Chance. So our ministry actually started in 1994, and it's been active and thriving all this time. Started in San Diego. Now I live in Tennessee, and 6 years ago, TBN gave me a call, and we put this thing together, and they said, hey, what would you think about taking the 10 states that you're visiting now and make it nationwide, border to border and coast to coast? And I was like, let me think. Okay, let's do it. So that's when that happened. And so TBN being an amazing Christian broadcasting company, immediately started putting together ideas. And of course, I had some ideas to bring to the table as well. And so what you'll see Friday is 3 different hour-long programs with different people that I've met along the way that have these just unbelievable stories. And it's kind of taking a look into what would happen if the Lord had us write another testament, of these amazing stories of his incredible breakthrough power, because he is alive and well, brother. And so that's what our desire is to show that the Lord is actively involved in changing people's lives radically. And I think you're going to really enjoy the presentation this Friday.
Yeah, I had a sneak peek, and I have to say it's very powerful what you all do. What were some of those challenges in the beginning, getting inside in these prisons and being able to use your ministry as a beacon of light?
The Lord has really just opened up doors. I think when a person or a ministry is specifically called to something of this type, I think any ministry really, he gives you the tools before you get there, and he gives you it's like he opens up the doors, he prepares the way, and there was no real. There hasn't really been a lot of roadblocks for us, and I'm just honored and blessed to say that. I don't brag about it at all, because I just see that happening for other people in their realm of ministry that's really thriving. It's like the Lord prepared the way for them to get there, and when it happened, it was just like boom, boom, boom. Things started happening, and that's how I knew. In fact, the year that I found prison ministry, I had basically just said, okay, Lord, I've been doing some good things in your kingdom, but I want to find my thing. I want to find exactly where I'm called and exactly where you want me. And I said, I'm going to say yes for the next year, for the next 12 months. I'm going to say yes to every single opportunity that comes my way. I'm not going to ask about money. I'm not going to ask about crowd size. I'm going to, some of the peripheral things that we sometimes think are important. I just said, I'm not going to ask any questions. I'm not going to make any demands. I'm going to say yes to every single one. And at the end of this year, I believe I'm going to know beyond a shadow of a doubt which direction I'm supposed to go. And that's exactly what happened. As I got to that 12-month marker, I looked back and I was just like, man, God's blessing was on prisons. And, it was much, much smaller and much more at the beginning stages, if you will. It started in fire camps in California. Fire camps are small little camps with usually about 200 people in the camp. And, we would go there and sometimes we'd have 10 guys, sometimes we'd have 35 guys or ladies in the women's camps. And, man, the fruit was just there immediately though. And, as we were faithful in the small things, God started bringing, bigger things to us. And it's not like the big is better. It really isn't. It's just, I think once the Lord sees your faithfulness and he sees your heart and sees your dedication, he wants to have more people hear, the message and to see what's going on. So, man, I'm just so honored to see what the Lord has done in the last 29 years.
You listen on Refocus Radio, talking to our guest, CJ Orndorff, and all of this is about the TBN special. TBN Second Chance presents Revival in America's Prisons. And we know it's going to air April 28th is the correct time. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Is it 8 p.m. Eastern time?
Yes, sir. So that would start at 5 o'clock in California. And for each one of those hours afterwards, a new special is coming up, a new segment, if you will. There's 3 of them together back to back.
And the camera really takes us behind the scenes and gives us a very intimate look in the prison. So for your experience, what has the environment been like? Because I can only imagine there could be some thoughts going through your mind every now and then, but at the same time, you're still on the mission to inspire.
Yeah. There's certainly there's a danger factor that plays in, and I think everybody thinks of that. And I definitely thought about that in the first moments, the early days of the ministry. I had no idea what it would be like to go into maximum security or a place like Pelican Bay or Angola or Rikers Island for places like that. But as the Lord has opened those doors, I've realized that he's with me, and I have nothing to fear as long as he's with me. And I was not raised in what you would say typical, what people expect prison culture. I was a goody two shoes pastor's kid, right? And had an amazing family, but the Lord gave me some elements of, number one, powerful desire to be in the ministry, a desire to be involved in music. And of course, I have that male, I want to jump out of an airplane, ride a fast motorcycle kind of thing about me. I'm an adventure junkie, you know what I mean? I love that. And so that element really compelled me to the prisons. And man, once I started going, it just kept me there, and my heart's been there. And I just haven't ever been really affected. I've had some moments where I'm just a little cautious, but never in fear for my life or anything like that. The Lord has just given me a boldness and a way to connect to people even that are completely different than I am. And usually, in fact, on the outside, if I meet somebody, I can just run across somebody on the street and he's tatted up, and I can tell, man, this guy just got out of prison, or he did a bunch of time in prison. I just have this connection, and I walk up and say hello, shake their hand or whatever. They're cool to me. I'm cool to them. And it's just a wonderful thing what the Lord has done.
Your team has also, like I said, I had honored to have a sneak peek. Your team also follows some individuals, and one of the individuals that I really was impressed with and inspired by was they talked to the people in prison, and they themselves did time. And I thought that was very powerful to illustrate, giving that a sense of hope.
Absolutely. There's gentlemen that I've met along the way that I have just had this immediate connection with. And I love featuring them on some of these programs. You're going to see a bunch of that Friday night. Some brothers that I just absolutely dearly love that when I first met them in prison, they were my homies. It was like, there was no question. There was just this immediate connection. And so when they've and I never thought they would get out. I mean, two of the guys were sentenced to life without parole. One gentleman was 55 to life. Another guy was in for a short time. One dude, yeah. I mean, for all intents and purposes, we should not have a friendship on the outside, but God. And I'm so anxious for everybody to meet them this Friday because they are just so tapped into their calling. And they were the moment that I met them. And that's what really, really rang my bell with them. It was like, wow, this guy knows where he's going. I want to be friends with him, and it was just those lifelong relationships that were culminated at that time. And now I get to minister with them on the outs.
So when people go watch that on the 28th at 8 p.m. Eastern time on TBN, what do you hope that people can appreciate and learn from these individuals and looking through their stories?
What we want them to receive and what's at the top of my heart right now is just that God isn't just an amazing God because of what he did in Bible times. It's not just, the miracle of Jonah. It's not just the miracle of Samson and, the miracles that Jesus saw and demonstrated for everyone. He is actively involved in the church today. And if we will just pull on that miracle working power, God changes lives. I mean, radically changes lives. And you're going to see a lot of that amazing miracle transformation this Friday night. And that's the point of the whole thing. There is a revival going on in America's prisons. And when Jesus shows up, he transforms hearts and lives. I still get letters today. In fact, yesterday, this young lady wrote in and she just said, man, I just want you to know that your music, your message, full of hope and full of joy has completely revolutionized my hunger for life. I want that music in my life. And I want to hear that message that God loves me. And that even though I'm treated poorly by other inmates or by staff or whatever, I'm just not getting what I need. I know I can always turn to the Father. And if I ever need to be reminded it, she says, boy, I just turn on CJ one more time. And it's really awesome because of the new tablet technology. People can download our videos and watch some really, really cool stuff that the Lord has allowed us to do in that way as well.
We've been talking to our guest, CJ Orndorff. You can go to his website, cjorndorff.com, and you also can watch TBN on demand, watch.tbn.org. But for this purpose, we want you to tune in on April 28th, Friday night, on TBN's Second Chance Special. It is something that you really want to watch. Once again, that is the Second Chance Presents Revival in America's Prisons. And man, I want to say thank you, CJ, for taking time talking to us today.
So joyful to be able to be with you today, Shemaiah. Thank you for the invitation, and I look forward to being with you again sometime.